Hello, everyone, and a very warm welcome to the Efficiency for Access Design Challenge 2024 to 2025 Grand Final. My name is Rachel Currah. I'm a project coordinator at Energy Saving Trust, who are co-secretariat of Efficiency for Access. I'm part of the challenge team, and I'm delighted to be your host today. So I'm really excited to be here with you all to celebrate the success of this year's students, to get an insight into their innovative designs and to crown the winners. Along the way, we'll take a look at the enduring impact of the challenge on former participants. We have an amazing global audience joining us here today. Welcome, everyone. I invite you all to introduce yourselves, say hello, and let us know where you're joining from in the chat. I see some people are doing that already. It's so inspiring to see this global community coming together for the grand final. Before we get started, I have a little bit of housekeeping. This event is being recorded. If you'd rather not be seen or heard, please keep your camera off and stay on mute. But we would love to see your faces, so I invite you to put cameras on if you're comfortable doing so. And please stay on mute unless you're speaking, and we will mute anyone who comes off mute by mistake. If you need anything throughout, just put a message in the chat where my colleague Kieran will be on hand to support. So on the agenda for today's grand final celebration, we're starting by welcoming you all and giving an introduction to the challenge. We'll then see an inspiring video highlighting the impact of the challenge on current and past participants. I'll welcome Leo Blyth, who will give our keynote speech, covering his experience as a student innovator, some key lessons from the solar appliance sector, and how failure can lead to innovation. My colleague Tom Whitehead will introduce the first portion of the awards ceremony, where we'll crown our bronze and silver award-winning teams. We'll then take a break from the awards to hear from some inspirational former challenge participants in a conversation with my colleague Davy. We'll then continue the awards ceremony and reveal the People's Award winners and the gold winners. And finally, we'd love to get a group photo with everyone to capture this moment. So please stick around for that at the end. So first things first, an introduction to the challenge. The Efficiency for Access Design Challenge asks teams of university students to design solar off-grid appliances and enabling technologies to foster innovation and talent in the off-grid appliance sector. Teams are asked to address a real need and context, creating a globally responsible design that is innovative, sustainable, scalable, and socially impactful. The competition challenges students to broaden their horizons, immerse themselves in the design experience, and communicate and pitch their designs to experts who can challenge them. This is a big undertaking, and students, we commend and congratulate you on your achievement in reaching this far. In this, the 6th year of the challenge, we have had over 140 students from 18 universities in 11 countries across 3 continents participating. We have had the special privilege of seeing you all embark on this journey, learn, develop, and challenge yourselves to get where you are today. And we hope that this will be a small part of a much longer path of learning and growth that will lead you into a career and a life that you find meaningful and fulfilling. That enduring impact is what the challenge is all about. For now, this is your chance to sit back, relax, and enjoy the moment as we celebrate the challenge, your achievements, and the winning teams. Let's dive in. So in this video, we'll hear from many current and former participants about the skills they've developed during the challenge and the impact it has had on them. For those who've been part of the challenge, whether as a mentor, a judge, a speaker, or student participant, I hope this inspires you to reflect on your own journey with the challenge and the skills you've nurtured in yourself and in others. And for everyone else, I hope this gives you an exciting glimpse into what the challenge is all about.
Through the Efficiency for Access Design Challenge, I learned that I have a deep passion for using engineering as a tool for social and economic transformation.
This experience sparked my passion for sustainable innovation and gave me the confidence to learn my own clean energy project.
I had my soft skills improve, the presentation skills, the report writing skills, and also this challenge made me at least be able to interact with my fellow students from other universities, and this made me really so happy.
All the webinars and the workshops, they really highlight the importance of different aspects like sustainability, accessibility, and the usability of any design.
This experience not only strengthened my engineering skills, but also developed a passion for power electronics, a path that I'm currently pursuing to address the energy access gap in rural communities.
I became more aware of the energy access disparities in Uganda and other developing countries.
And I'm proud to be a part of such challenge that encourages women to lead and contribute to the least gender diverse sector like energy.
I learned that I'm more resilient and creative than I thought, especially when solving real-world problems.
Most importantly, I learned something powerful about myself. I have the ability to look around, identify the real challenges in society, and take a meaningful step to address them, contributing to the sustainable development goals along the way.
I really thank you and the organizers for coming up with a competition like this that incorporates people from and connects people from around the world and their experiences. So it's all thanks to you and the organizers that gave us this chance to participate.
Participating in Efficient for Access for me was truly transformative. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for supporting innovation in energy access and agriculture.
It's so inspiring to hear from that amazing group of challenge students and alumni, and to see that infectious energy and passion. We're very fortunate to be coming together today during World Refrigeration Day. It serves as a brilliant reminder of the vital importance of refrigeration and cooling in our rapidly heating world, and for the future of clean energy access. It is especially pertinent given that the people who don't currently have access to energy and the services it provides are likely to be most impacted by the climate emergency. Over the past 6 years of the challenge, 19 student teams have designed refrigeration technologies, channeling their passion into addressing real-world problems in socially impactful and sustainable ways. And for our keynote speech today, we're delighted to welcome Leo Blyth, who is, among many other things, an expert on refrigeration. Leo is an off-grid solar energy and cooling access strategic advisor and technical specialist. For over 25 years, he has worked across sub-Saharan Africa and Asia, innovating solutions to transform rural people's access to off-grid distributed renewable energy systems and cooling appliances to improve their health, increase their quality of life, and enhance their livelihoods. Leo has a passion for technological innovation and locally appropriate solutions. This led to his development of solar power packs and LED lights in the early 2000s in East Africa, first training artisans in local assembly, then founding and running a company to produce solar-powered LED lighting systems. Since 2008, Leo has been providing consultancy support to the development sector, currently with a focus on agricultural cold chain. And Leo will be speaking about the value of opportunity, reflecting on his own journey as a student innovator. He'll talk about key lessons from bringing appliances to market in East Africa and underline how failure fuels innovation. So welcome, Leo.
Thank you so much. And hello, everybody. It really is a pleasure and an honor to be here with you today. As you'll hear from my experience and story, things were very different from when I started out. Can you imagine that one of the best, most important appliances to power off-grid was the humble radio, and that was it. Didn't really have mobile phones. We literally did not have mobile phones. So I got started on this when I was about 20 years old. It was about 95. Volunteer work out in Africa, and headed out. And I think what I wanted to share with you overall is just how wonderful, it seems like from the videos you've got this really clearly, but just if you're in no doubt, how wonderful the experience is that you've got. and the context of the opportunity. Someone wants to get in on the action. Okay, good. So I got started in about the mid-90s. I'm from Britain. Before university, I wanted to get a taste of what life was really like in the countries as I was doing a development studies degree. And so I headed out to Kenya to do a few months voluntary work. And what I soon discovered was I had a small little sliver of a solar panel that could actually be assembled locally by a large panel being chopped up with a glass cutter, because we had amorphous silicon. Many of you probably, again, we haven't even got them anymore because they're an obsolete technology, but they were incredibly adaptable. Now you can just buy a little cell and play around with it yourself. But what I discovered was how powerful that was to transform people's lives. And I'm going to give you a brief insight into that before going on to 3 amazing entrepreneurs in Kenya who are, during their student days and following that, have created now viable businesses doing this currently. And I'll show you those examples. So if we can move on to the next slide, I'll show you what I'm talking about here. Thank you. So I've been providing feedback for many of your teams over the years in the work I do with EST. But this, as I said, this work really began with me because I didn't see an opportunity back home. I'm not sure what will be inspiring you, but in England, I just wasn't interested in what was available there. And so here we are celebrating in your participation. What I'm going to talk about most is just to have you to really consider why you took part, what it will mean for you going forward, because you'll find there are many different ways bringing into your future jobs, careers, not just dedicated to making customized appliances, appropriate technologies, dedicated to working off grid. You know, how can this inspire and infuse you going forwards? And so for those of you who haven't previously experienced firsthand these conditions, like even in the videos, those of you living in Africa, many of you I'm sure are living very privileged lives in the cities, and maybe you're not in touch with the real circumstances in the impoverished rural areas. Definitely that was the case for me in Britain, and many of you, your projects will have brought you into contact for the first time. So I hope this project will have served to open a window into the world, as I put it for you. My wake up into this work, and really the motivation for this career, as I say, which is almost 30 years so far, I'm really looking forward to at least spending another 20 on it. I was working in the early 2000s. I'd graduated by then. I'd proven that locally assembled solar panels were a viable idea. And I'd been hired by an NGO that was working with the Batwa, which are a community in the picture in front of you, which is a highly marginalized group in Rwanda. And I was showcasing the possibility of small solar panels and assessing the possibility that local carpenters and electricians could assemble these themselves. I'd literally created the prototypes in my parents' basement in Brighton, thanks to my dad's commitment to supporting the boy from childhood all the way through. And so I really remember having my mind blown by seeing clothes hanging off a washing line that in my world you'd never see them outside of a rubbish bin. And this is a level of impoverishment I had never seen before. And so what caught me was how there were no opportunities for schooling for most of these kids. And a radio was literally the only way to get access to education. But not only that, warnings. And this was a time where Goma had been wiped out by a volcano, where people hadn't heard the warnings because they didn't have fire advance, which if they had access to a radio, they would have. So the metaphor of a radio being a window to the world through a lack of electricity only was closed was shocking to me. And that drove me into this career on how to power those radios and to go beyond. If we could move on to the next slide. I know many of you have worked with much more sophisticated technologies now than radios, thankfully, and we're a lot further and beyond that. So I want to move on quickly onto you. This is what I'm here for. I feel quite uncomfortable talking about myself too much. But what I wanted to, I heard a lot of this in the video again. So at this moment, I think for me, it was to see within myself, to keep reflecting, to not lose touch of. So I wanted to give you this guidance from what I've learned, to never lose touch of what is your passion. You may start up doing a thing, doing something, but actually your passion is in a being. It might be being an entrepreneur, being an engineer. It might be rather than making a particular one, running a business, running a particular business, for example. You may want to work for a company as opposed to be the company. Huge implications for our careers. Then keep looking, where is the opportunity out there? Is it with a large company, as I say, is it as a niche sector? And then at some point, maybe with friends or with family, choose your moment carefully. Do you have what it takes? Sometimes maybe you don't want to ask this. You want to just plow ahead, you know, push. But I would say that was a real important question for me. And ultimately, is there enough value in whatever we're doing, in that innovation we're seeking to bring to the world? Is it different enough? Really important questions to ask ourselves. And then ultimately, is there a match between all those disparate pieces? Do they fit together? If so, great, you've got it. If not, again, well, are you someone who's going to make that happen regardless? But for me, I found a lot of matches, a lot of opportunities, but I really had to make it happen. And by answering these questions, I could do that. I could keep going. So I found that I had a passion for innovation. I had a passion for empowering others, for working with them, to actually see people grow, for me, was one of my passions. And so I started this small company, which actually was just a group of local youth who I had seen and trained to locally assemble solar panels. And then they couldn't make that themselves. Then later I realized I needed to start a business. And so then I asked them if they would work with me. I didn't create a company and then seek employees, if you see what I mean. And so part of my purpose was actually empowering them and working with them. And I didn't even know the word social enterprise, frankly, but that was what it was. So sometimes you just need to be spontaneous. A great guidance for me, it's a bit outdated now, but it's been a lot of fun. If you look at this book called bit tongue-in-cheek from a very funny British entrepreneur who's, if not famous with you already, I hope he will be if you read this book. Screw it, let's do it. Lessons in life. Founder of Virgin Atlantic and the Galactic low orbit spaceships, sailed around the world in a hot air balloon, amazing entrepreneur and adventurer, Richard Branson. I have a short time, I won't go too much onto this. I mentioned that this was the company in Kenya. What I'd summarize by saying is, as you're innovating new technology, there was the worldwide company called Focus in Germany selling LED light bulbs for $20 a piece in Kenya in the early 2000s. Surprisingly enough, didn't sell any of them. We created a company. We brought in car headlight LED bulbs, which cost a few dollars. We disassembled them. We made new LED bulbs using local tea strainers as molds. These individuals in front of you literally made a wiring circuit with wires like a spider makes a web, connecting the LEDs and resoldering them, blending amber and white. We created warm white because there were no warm white LEDs. They didn't exist. So that was just one example of how we created literally value in a very African way, local skills. The individuals, many of them didn't have proper qualifications, but they had a lot of keen commitment and heart. We had standard operating procedures for every step of every assembly of everything we did. And they would follow those with a sheet list of how to make something. And it gave us a very strong quality control. But saying all of that, I think one of the biggest failures we would have is when our equipment would fail out in the rural applications. We found applications for some of the most extreme environments. We actually made satellite phone chargers, again, because it was predating mobile phone chargers mostly. And we outsold the world's largest seller of satellite phones, own brand of satellite phone chargers, because ours were better and stronger. And we did all of that by quality. But when there was a problem, one of the best things we did was in honoring our guarantees, was having an after-sales network to get out there, no matter where, and to charge for it, to make a profitable business, but to be there for our company, for our customers, and to have some form of company ethos, as you see in front of you, in the outfits. So I'll move on to the entrepreneurs. Thank you. So the first entrepreneur on the next slide. This is in one of the hardest to reach regions in Kenya, in Lake Turkana, and one of the most extremely impoverished environments. What you've got here is an innovation of a solar-powered ice-making facility for local fisher people, which transformed their ability from almost a Neolithic approach of sun-drying fish, which brought very little money, hardship for the fisher folk, to the most modern technology, and then it being able to export fillets of tilapia from there. This has increased the amount of money fivefold, and it was driven by the technical entrepreneurship of the graduate Kimani Gucheshi in Kenya, who was a solar technician who then evolved all of the ice cooling and others. So that was really one of the core things. He innovated beyond his core capacity. He had a strong core capacity. He saw there was a transformative opportunity that could go beyond selling a product to help the whole community. He assessed, what did they need? They needed water. And so he also works within a water purification facility to provide that to people. So an amazing example, which has had, I could give a whole presentation on this. I think this is worthy of further support, and one of those examples where you can create a systemic change where a technology has a feedback on the actual environment of fishing as well as the community, and a good business opportunity using modern technologies. Thank you. If we can move to the next one. Now here, this is a bit different in that we have Savannah Circuit Technologies, and another Kenyan homegrown business. This is a joint venture between Emastella Gakua and Percy Kiptu, who again, both innovated approaches during their studies and started this. They've been running this company for about 8 years now. And another example of what some of you said was so great, they had a global collaboration with Hohenheim University in Germany, where they had some of the technologies of solar-powered ice chilling. So their first mission was, how do we chill dairy milk in that first mile? They innovated those solutions. The donor funds paid for that. Donor funds left, as is commonly the case. They stayed. They've created this business through their tenacity, hard work, innovation, and they've found other donors. They've found partners. They now have a production facility on the edge of Nairobi, where they're doing world-class work. And what you'll see is they've adopted this adaptive feedback loop innovation. And it's really true. I'm not just lecturing here. This try and try again. Yeah, I would even say it's almost not worth trying to get it right the first time. You spent too much effort, right? As I think many of you will have found already. Expect to fail because there's no other better way to learn. This has led them to a world-class innovation now, which they're using for fish and for dairy. And on the last example, before I hand over, what we've got here is another collaboration. This is more of an incremental innovation, showing a diversity of solutions here, where you have a concept of a walk-in cold room that's well established and largely available, but it's dependent on the import of almost all materials, even the insulation material, which can be highly polluting itself. So this was an innovation between mostly German technical universities and entrepreneurs to make a low carbon cold room by supporting local entrepreneurs and innovators to use local materials to create their own. So what you see in front of you is the world's lowest carbon, low emission construction device that was then a lot cheaper as well. As I say, leveraging global partnerships, leveraging Western organizations who were committed and had a passion to building up local capacity, not seeking pure profit. And at the end, one of the examples I'll leave with you for is there was practicality over idealism. What we saw here was that rather than it being a zero energy cold room, that was just too expensive. It didn't work. And again, the concept of focusing on a process, for example, of assembly could be your priority, as opposed to simply the lowest cost end product, which could be of a higher global impact. So process was prioritized over product. That really is a whistle-stop tour, me trying to share some of the best lessons I've learned and from other entrepreneurs, and give you some real-life example of people who were in exactly the same position as you and just kept at it. So trying not to be too cheesy, I'm going to finish with the quote on the first page, which I literally had on my wall for decades. So I encourage you to take this to heart. I say, whatever you can do or dream you can, begin it. Boldness has genius, power, and magic in it. Be it. So good luck. I hope you have great times and look forward to meeting you out there somewhere someday. Over to you, Ben. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Leo. That was fantastic. Before we dive into the award ceremony, of course, allow me to thank Leo for sharing a fantastic array of experiences, collaborations, and advice, particularly around failure, embracing failure, beginning things, and just iterating and persevering through it. We look forward in a little bit to building on that by hearing from our amazing panelists, Amviko, William, and Mariam. But let's dive into the award ceremony. So as Rachel mentioned earlier, we've had over 140 students take part this year, and you've all been working really hard researching and designing innovative solutions with this goal to improve the lives and livelihoods of people living in off-grid communities. So a bit of background on the process. So following the submissions and the pitches of the participating teams, our reviewing and judging panels of experts from the solar sector have scored the student designs based on the assessment criteria around innovation, social and environmental impact, and the business model. And I'm pleased to say that the reviewers, the judges, were impressed and truly inspired by your designs and your engaging pitches. So huge congratulations to everyone who participated in this year's challenge. We are at the final part of the grand finals, the award ceremony and the showcase. We will then have our interlude of the panel discussion. But this year we have 4 teams who have received a bronze standard. 2 teams have achieved a silver and 1 team has achieved gold. We'll also be announcing the winner of the People's Vote Award as determined by all of you who voted, and we had a lot of votes. Voting has now closed, but you can see all the designs on our crowdsolve platform. There's also going to be a summary of these submissions available on the Efficiency for Access website. So we've asked our student teams to have a representative ready to be able to join us on the virtual stage to share a few words of acceptance and describe briefly their design. So please have your representative ready. Send each other a message if you're not quite sure who it might be. And if you are called, please turn on your camera, get your microphones ready so that we can celebrate your fantastic work. So without further ado, it's time to announce our award-winning teams for the 6th year of the Efficiency for Access Design Challenge. I'll pass over to Ella, who will announce the first awards.
Thank you so much, Tom. I'm really pleased to kick off the award ceremony today, where we celebrate the hard work and innovation of our participants. I don't want to keep you waiting at all, so I'll dive straight in with the presentation of the first award. And I'm happy to announce that the first of these bronze awards goes to Team 34 from Calasalingam Academy of Research and Education for their solar-powered smart irrigation and fertilizer system. Great, congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. We are very proud to have it.
Congratulations, team. I think that was you just speaking there. So yeah, please feel free to mute yourself again and give a few words to introduce your design to the audience today. I have seen some of the team members here, but I'm not sure if you're able to come off mute and speak. I'll give you a second and then. Hi there.
So yeah, I am Arun from team 2434. So our design is basically a mixture of drip irrigation system and an AML model for predicting the pest and other infections inside the crops. So basically we have integrated both the mechanical systems and electronic systems over here. So one is we have covered with solar power, and we have also did our power specification. We got our problem statement really from the farmers. So we have tried our models, first model and second model, already implemented in nearby areas. So we are very much happy to have this. So any doubt on our projects, like anyone can ask anything, we can open to share everything. Yeah, so that's fine, I hope.
You're mute, Ella. On mute.
Oh, thank you, everyone. Thanks so much, team, for those words introducing your design. I did have another question to quickly go over. I wondered if you could answer what you think makes your solution stand out from the other technologies tackling similar problems. Hope the team is still there. Is anyone available to answer that question?
Can you repeat, please?
Yeah, of course. What do you think makes your solution stand out from the other technologies available that are tackling similar problems?
Yeah, so we are basically we are fully focused on the sustainable outcome. So we are totally focused because in our thing we have the fertilizer system, which will be automatically predicting the nutrition level. So whenever it is required, the amount of fertilizer will be released. So another one thing is it is very much user friendly for the draft related areas, like where is very low amount of water is there and water shortage problems are there. So simply our problem, so the water amount can be reduced using our sensors. So whenever the water is needed and that particular time only our sensors will react and automatically drip irrigation system will coordinate accordingly. Then we will be communicating with the farmer about the total system. Yeah, so that's what we are fully focused on the sustainable outcome, which makes us differ from other ones, I believe.
Wonderful. Yep, thank you for going over that and the innovation of your design. A huge well done again. I can see people in the chat writing congratulations. Brilliant. But now I'll move on to the next bronze award. And again, I'll dive right in. This bronze award goes to Team 56 from Obafemi Awolowo University with their solar powered irrigation system. A huge well done, team.
Yeah, good morning, everyone. Yeah, so we are
Hello.
team 56 from Obafemi Awolowo University in Nigeria. Then our solar powered irrigation system is a system that is sustainable and a very basic and simple system that's easy to use. It's a smart battery-free system using locally sourced materials for affordability. It has solar power. It's a solar power which comprises of a solar panel which powers a DC pump, which fuels a Rees tank that sends water through a gravity-fed pipes. Then we also include a flute valve that stops tank overflow, and we also include the tensiometers, which are used to sense the soil moisture. So the farmer can know when the soil is dry or when the soil needs irrigation. The gravity fed pipes are automatically triggered by the tensiometers when there's a low amount of moisture in the soil. So the system automatically triggers the gravity-fed pipes to water the soil, which removes the stress of the farmer manually fetching water to water the soil by themselves. We also include a system that automatically switches on or switches off a water pump once the pump is full. The system is basically powered by a solar panel. And we also include a GSM module with a microcontroller that sends daily alerts to farmers when their plant is being watered or when the moisture in their plant is not enough. So farmers can receive real-time alerts anywhere they are across Nigeria. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Yeah, that very detailed explanation of how it works. That was really useful. And if I can quickly ask about one skill that you gained during the challenge that you're proud of and that you'll carry forward with you.
Yeah, I improved on my reporting skills, then my presentation skills, because I had to practice a lot before I presented. So I improved on my reporting skills and my presentation skills. Also, I improved on my skills in regards to developing solar systems. So I was able to delve well into what solar system entails before I could be able to come up with this innovative solution. Thank you.
Wonderful, thank you. Yeah, that was great to hear the tangible benefits you got from taking part in the challenge. Congratulations both teams again. I'll now pass over to Jonny, who will go through the rest of the Bronze Awards.
Awesome. Okay, so on to the next award. So we can just go to the next slide. Yep, awesome. Thank you. So the next Bronze Award of the day goes to Team 46 from Makerere University for their design of an affordable, smart, solar-powered poultry feeding system. So well done to Team 46. If we have a representative from the team online, I believe I have seen a few of you. Please do feel free to switch your cameras on and introduce yourself and tell us a bit about your design. Maybe John Baptist, do we have you online?
Hello.
Hello, congratulations.
Yeah, thanks.
How are you feeling? Tell us a bit about your design.
Yeah, my design is a smart device which is going to be feeding poultry. And it's what? We named it Smart Feeder. It's me, Buyungo John Baptist, and my colleague Vega Juma. Yeah, and something about it, it's automation. It's going to be automatic, like to be able to feed the poultry without the farmer being around. The remote control, the Internet of Things, like we are going to be using internet. The farmer will be able to access the device using internet. The fact that it's going to be catering for the youth, even the disabled, like someone can rear like any number of chicken with our system, as long as you have a smartphone or you can reach the control panel. And the other thing, I think why it's here with the Bronze Award, because of its scalability. We have catered for all ranges of farmers, even farmers with only 40 birds or 1,000 birds, they can use our machine because we can scale it to any size. Thank you.
Thank you, Vyanga. And I must say, when I was scrolling through CrowdSolve, this was definitely one that definitely caught my eye. So tell me a little bit about how did you come up with this idea? What was that moment where you were like, yes, this is what we have to design?
Yeah, smart feed. Anyways, from my country, Uganda, agriculture is like the backbone of our country. The country depends on agriculture. So choosing a project which was in line with agriculture was just there. Yeah, so that's why I chose this. And also I've grown up in a family which does agriculture. So I was like, if I can design such a system for my mom to keep his birds in her old age, it's just a nice thing to give to my mom. Yeah, though we are also planning to scale it up and also turn it into a business just after we finish its construction. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And I love it when something's got a personal touch to it. So thank you so much. Congratulations once again, Team 46. Okay, moving on to our final bronze award today. So the final bronze award goes to Team 17 from the University of Rwanda for their design of a solar-powered fish pond aerator. Congratulations, Team 17. And again, if we have someone, a representative from the team, please switch on your camera, introduce yourself, and tell us about your design.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. I go by the name of Zakaria Uthman, and our design is a solar pond fish aerator. This is a device which increases oxygen in ponds. We have seen that the fish got stressed and die due to downfall of level of DO in ponds. Thus, we come up with this project which will increase the level of DO in ponds so as to save fish's life.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. I wanted to ask you, what was like a highlight for yourself or for your whole team in general throughout this design challenge? What was a moment that really stood out to you?
Okay, like what I can say about the challenges, these are, for us, we are not totally in the field of aquaculture. We are dealing with agriculture, but with engineering. So we would have to work hard to combine all of those skills. Also, this challenge comes in time of exams in our university. So it was a bit somehow hard just to overcome those challenges, but we managed to overcome them. Thank you.
Thank you so much, and well done once again for being able to balance so many different deadlines with this as well, and coming up with a design that's very suitable for aquaculture in rural areas. So that brings us to the end of the Bronze Awards. Congratulations to all our Bronze Award winners once again. And now I'll hand over to Kyle, who will start off with the first Silver Award today.
Thank you, Jonny, and congratulations again to all our Bronze Award winners. That genuinely was an inspiring lineup of innovative designs, I have to say. But it is now time to move on to our Silver Awards, and I have the honor of presenting the very first of these. So it's my pleasure to present the first Silver Award to Team 11 from Aston University, United Kingdom, with their solar-powered sanitary pads vending machine. Congratulations, well done. Very well done. Please could a member of the team unmute themselves and share a few words about their design.
There you go, you're unmuted.
The mic is here.
Mic, good to come.
Hello, everyone. Anyone like to share a few words?
Can you hear us?
Yes, loud and clear.
Right. My team from Aston University came up with the solar-powered sanitary pad vending machine. As we know, when we talk about global problems, we talk about resource scarcity and electricity scarcity. And yet there are many problems that people around us face in our day-to-day lives, which we don't often think about. One of them is menstrual hygiene across the world. especially in places with rampant lack of resources to combat those, leading to period poverty. So me and my team came up with an innovation, which is a solar power sanitary pad vending machine for the context of Kupang city in Indonesia, which is rapidly urbanizing, that distributes locally sourced, very hygienic and sanitary and biodegradable sanitary pads to the women, the children, and even to discriminated people like the sex workers or the informal workers in that locality. So with our project, periods may not stop for poverty, but the poverty can definitely stop for periods.
Thank you very much. That's great. It's a wonderful project. Clearly, it covers a hell of a lot of ground, as you say. You know, you're covering empathy, dignity, and empowerment all in one go, and your innovative skills have clearly come through for everyone, as you say. But what would you say is the biggest challenge you faced during the design process, and how did you and your team overcome it?
One of the more unique challenges we faced, more than the design of the container itself, is how much pads should be in our machine. You see, one thing about me is that despite the fact that I am from a well-educated, I have a sort of lack of education. So you can just imagine the people in Indonesia or in Kupang city where this is a very taboo topic. So one of the unique designs that we did was how to integrate the IoT management and the calculation of how many pads will be in the machine as per the population of the area. So we designed it accordingly for easier distribution and easier accessibility in the city and in countrywide in Indonesia.
That's very inspiring, definitely. Sounds like a hell of a challenge, but you've absolutely nailed it. That's wonderful. Congratulations once again to Aston University. That's very well deserved. I'll now hand back to Tom to present the second silver award.
Thanks, Kyle. So the second and final silver medal winning team is Team 48 from Makerere University, Uganda, with their EcoSolar Cassava Flash Dryer. Congratulations, team. Brilliant. I've seen a few of you online, so if someone can please unmute themselves and join us on the stage.
Yeah.
Hi, Oscar. Congratulations.
Hi. Thank you so much. I'm just so happy.
Incredible. Well, if you could, please jump in and give us just a brief overview of your project.
So our project, we had imagined Uganda has so many cassava farmers, and almost every household has an hectare of the cassava. But then most of the farmers, they were facing challenge with how best they can dry their cassava. And we all know that cassava is a very good alternative to wheat. But then the cassava that the farmers do produce in the market, it can't be sold to make bread in the bakeries, in the biscuit. So we thought about EcoSolar Cassava Flash Dryer, whereby farmers could dry their cassava indoors and they come out with high quality cassava, which can have better value. And through this, a lot of lives are going to be changed because farmers really do need this innovation.
Fantastic. And you talk a lot in your project about the importance of taking an inclusive approach to implementing new technologies. What advice would you give to others who want to make their own innovations more inclusive?
Yeah, actually, what I can say, when you are innovating, you have to look at the real last mile user, because those are the people that keep us to innovate every day. You look at the problem from the person who is most affected in that particular challenge. Because if you look at the farmers, they're the ones who are greatly affected. Much as they can get the cassava and they sun dry it and they sell it, but when they take to the market, they will get low fee. And the other factories, maybe they can get some cassava and they clean it and they say they do their actual stuff. But the real farmer in the village will be paid with a low value, and when you have a higher quality, you get more money. So my advice is that when you're innovating and when you're thinking through the problem like this, you have to think of the last mile user, and you innovate along that line. And also, we all know that solar is actually good, but with our innovation, we add look at a circular economy aspect. When we add a workshop which was shared by Rachel. So we thought about it that what if in a day that the sun gets off? What are you going to do with the innovation? So with our innovation, we have we have a two-way drying system whereby we had thought about if you peel the cassava, the peelings you are going to throw it out, but why don't you use that in a briquetted way to again provide the heat in the days that the solar is not going to be much efficient?
Fantastic. Well, you've covered so much ground there. That was excellent, and a good plug for the webinars that we provided. I'm glad that helped you on your design journey. Congratulations again to
thank you so much
to that team 48. Well, that marks the end of our bronze and silver medal announcements. I'm really excited now to hand over to Sean and our wonderful panelists. Over to you.
Thanks, Tom. Hi, everyone. My name is Sean, as Tom said, and I'm really excited to be hosting today's panel discussion and to have a chance to catch up with some of our challenge alumni. And I hope this conversation gives us a chance to reflect on the experience students have had during the challenge and how those experiences might continue to shape their journey ahead. So throughout the challenge, we aim to equip students with knowledge and skills that will support them far beyond their time on the program. And over the past 6 years, through the work of our alumni, we've had the privilege of seeing some of the remarkable impact that young innovators, like all of our students on the call today, are capable of. So I'm thrilled to be joined by 3 fantastic alumni who will hopefully share a bit about their own paths. First, we've got Maryam Nakvi, who was part of the first challenge cohort in 2019 to 20. She's now a PhD researcher at Imperial College London, investigating the health impacts of palm oil agriculture in Southeast Asia. Before this, she spent 8 years as a structural engineer, working on everything from warehouses and social housing to passive house standard buildings. After completing a master's degree in engineering for international development, she joined our delivery partners, Engineers Without Borders UK, where she authored the Engineering for People design brief, which sounds like a full circle moment to me. She's now the regional co-chair at Engineers for Overseas Development, supporting hospital design projects in Uganda, bridging engineering, public health, and sustainable development. Next, we have Amviko Proscovia Adrabo, who is a mechanical engineering graduate from Makerere University and a 2022 to 23 Gold Award winner for her team's design of a solar-powered automated biodigester. She now works as a mechanical trainee at the Bujagali hydropower plant, which generates 250 megawatts of clean, reliable energy for Ugandans. Amviko is passionate about sustainable energy and impact-driven innovation. William Mwai is a 4th-year electrical and electronics engineering student at the University of Nairobi. His team won a bronze award in the 2022 to 23 challenge for their solar-powered atmospheric water generator, which they branded SolarSip Africa. He went on to join the Efficiency for Access Design Challenge Accelerator Program, and in 2024, after pitching his idea to a panel of judges, secured a £10,000 grant to further develop the project. Him and his team are currently working on on developing a minimal viable product. William is passionate about renewable energy, electric vehicles, and entrepreneurship, and bringing them together to affect positive impact. Hopefully you can all see them there. I saw William join us earlier. Hopefully he's on the call. Welcome all. Hi Maryam. Hi Amviko.
Hi.
Hope you're doing okay. Welcome to our 3 panelists. We're so happy to have you here. So let's jump into the conversation. So Maryam, Amviko, and William, we heard in the video earlier about some of the key skills students have gained through the challenge, but seeing as we have all of you here, I'd love to hear directly from you. Can each of you share a moment, either in your studies, your work, or your personal life, where you drew on something you learned during the challenge to navigate a real world situation? Maybe in the order I introduced you in. So starting with Miriam.
Yes. So for me, the challenge really taught me to consider the broader concept or the context when developing a design solution. I think that's really important in engineering, thinking beyond just the technical idea and focusing on factors like local resources, how your design is going to be able to be maintained long term, how it could be repaired and functionality within that specific environment. Something that Leo also highlighted in his keynote. So during my time in Uganda with Engineers for Overseas Development, we try to use as much local materials as possible, things that could be manufactured on site. So for instance, clay-fired bricks are very expensive, but instead we were able to make ISSBs, which are interlocking stabilized soil blocks. These are just like moistened soil with a little bit of cement and it's cured. This makes ISSBs a little bit more economical. They could be made and tested on site, which was great because it provided employment. And as they weren't fired like traditional clay bricks, they're a little bit more sustainable as well. Yeah, that's my example.
Thanks, Miriam. And so great to hear something so practical and so impactful as well. Amviko, can we hear from you?
I've learned so much from the efficiency challenge, and I'll start first by how I've used it in my current employment. I'm working at Bujagali Energy Limited. It's a hydropower plant, but it's very important to be keen to anything that is wrong. If there is a valve that is closed, if there is something that's behaving in a way that it's not supposed to be behaving like, it's very important to be keen. And through this challenge, I've been able to create that eye for observation. So it really helps me as I go on with my work day to day and helps to prevent unit trips, which can cause a national blackout. And then I've also used it. I did this challenge in year 3 of university, and in year 4, I used it in my final year project. The skills I got from report writing, from automation, I created, for my final year project, I created an automatic smart irrigation system, which I'm very glad to hear the Bronze Award winners did as well. And I'm also glad to hear that there are some winners from the university I attended, Makerere University. So congratulations to all the winners so far. And I pray you keep with yourself the skills, especially the skills for automation, especially in a country like Uganda, a country that is poor, and we need to drive innovation so that we can drive development in our countries. Okay, thank you.
Thanks,
Sean.
Amviko. Yeah, sounds like a little bit more high pressure, that attention to detail at your current job, nationwide blackout. But yeah, good that it was able to apply to both work and studies. And yeah, shout out to Makerere University, always consistent there. William, would you like to feed in?
Yes, so hi everybody. My name is William, and on skills, well, my pitching skills have really gone godlike, I'd say. Initially, it was very hard to convey the message that you needed to get across the room because there's a disconnect between the technical groups and the actual people with the money. You need to convey the message differently. So you can't talk about efficiency to a board of directors. They probably have forgotten the word or think it's more scientific. So you'd rather talk about cost savings. So putting it in a language that other audiences can understand, non-technical people can get to understand this and follow through, was a really challenging thing for me. So when I got into the challenge, my first speech is very different from what I can do today. I mean, I still look at my pitch from the first time I was in team 2022-33. That is around 3 years ago. So much has happened in between, and I'm far much better pitcher than I was then. So that will be a number one skill. Of course, there are other skills like time management, budgeting that comes along, and also the ability to see problems much clearly and understand whether it's worth the risk and its feasibility. So those are some of the skills that I got equipped with in the, so far, I think 3 years. This has been my longest relationship so far. It's been 3 years of growth, immense growth. And I hope the other challenge participants will take the opportunity positively and go into the future with hope. Yeah.
Thanks, William. Yeah, your pitching skills have really come a long way. I know you said the other day that referencing your original pitch makes you cringe a little bit because you've come so far. Great. I mean, that's all fantastic to hear from all of you. It's always inspiring to see how skills develop during the challenge and then don't just stay in the classroom or Zoom room in our case, but really live on in the way you approach work today. William, coming back to you, it's clear you've taken your project forward in a really exciting direction and your career. So did the challenge help shape or influence the path you decided to pursue, particularly in your career at all? Did you hear that, William? Oh, you're on mute. There you
go. Sorry, pardon about that. So my career has taken an 180-degree turn from what I initially thought. When I got into engineering, there's that sort of career engineering where you go and work, for example, like you go to a power station and work. But after I got involved with Efficient for Access and seeing all the good work they've done across and multiple projects across Africa that can be pointed out, of which a lot of them do agree with what I look forward to doing in our community, starting with Dekadili. I just saw you guys present Adili up there. Adili is something that I see would be a game changer for my community. I come from a fishing community, so that is something that can impact. So for myself, my influence on my career is now a more entrepreneurial than before. I see problems. I spend my hours looking for problems that can be solved because I know that in the space of engineering, you can make so much change. The entrepreneurial spirit has enabled me to connect with so many people, especially in the same space as I am. I'm doing electrical engineering. However, my interest is in solar and renewable energy. And through Efficient for Access, I got to meet so many people that are in the same space and hopefully collaborate with. The networking showed me all the possibilities out there. I was having a discussion with Sean earlier on, and he was amazed by how much I have opened my horizons, actually. Hopefully in the next 3 months or so, I will be founding my own solar renewable company that I hope to effect my change agenda through. So that's the major career difference. I am not really interested into going into the technical aspect of engineering, but the business side, because a lot of us forget that there's those business opportunities for engineers as well, because, well, you're literally in school to learn how to solve problems, and business is the art of solving people's problems. So we shouldn't only take it in a technical way as well. You can go out there and make money as you solve people's problems.
Thanks, William. Yeah, it's encouraging to hear that. I mean, this experience helped you find that sense of clarity and confidence as you move forward with your own venture, which is really exciting. 3 months, that's great. An inspiring story, I hope, of an initiative that maybe our students can glean from. A story I'm sure will only keep on growing. So looking forward to it, William. Next, Amviko, I wanted to ask, you're now working at a hydropower company on the Nile, which sounds like an amazing opportunity. That sounds very aligned with your studies. Did the challenge help you in any way to kind of bridge that gap between your studies at university and landing this role in the sector?
First of all, I want to start by saying that winning the gold award had a lot to do with my career side. And so when you have a certificate showing you won a gold award in an international energy competition, it opens so many doors for you, starting with networking. It opens for you career opportunities, or even business. If you want to go into business, proving to people that you actually know what you're talking about, that you can win an international energy competition, really gives you the upper hand to even have a listening ear. So in my line of work, it's really, first of all, helped me get the job. And then in the job, I continuously had a way of critical thinking. Critical thinking, everyone thinks it's very obvious, but when you participate in a challenge like this, you get it anyway. You have to think, okay, well, how can I solve the people's problems? How can I innovate? How can I bring something to life that can actually help the people, not just make money out of it? Eventually you make money, but initially you have to prove that your design is worth it. So when you come into a field like hydroelectricity, where you require critical thinking, because every single parameter equals a certain something that can either trip the unit or provide efficient electricity for the whole country, you really need to be keen. So I can take my skills from then to now. Even right now, I'm working on very important projects which require me to write projects, to write reports, requires me to be very attentive, very, very attentive to whatever everyone is doing around the project. So being in the efficiency for energy challenge only has had positives for my whole life. And even before I was working here, I was doing smart irrigation, as that was going to be my career line. From the efficiency for energy challenge, then I went into innovation. The smart irrigation project actually managed to get a big grant from the university, and right now it's producing it's helping to produce a lot of crops for the university's garden. Like we have not even a garden, it's like a big farm. So they're applying smart irrigation there. So I want to encourage all those students that started with smart irrigation to also continue. And also I can talk about my project, which was a solar powered biodigester. I actually was one of the people that applied it at home. I create a small model that I now apply at home, and it produces the fertilizers for my small flowers in my compound. So I want you to take your innovations very seriously, and if you can't use it big scale, at least use it in a small scale to improve your lives a bit.
Great. Thank you, Amviko. That's an inspiring story, and it sounds like you've had so many different applications of it, and you've had great impact. It's so cool that you have the biodigester at home. I'd like to see it, a photo of it. Yeah, that's great. And great to hear that kind of your technical prowess also came out. I know you said critical thinking, but also these skills that you've been able to use at work, and especially in such a exciting and interesting role that you currently are in. To Miriam, I just wanted to ask, the challenge hasn't always been about just, it's never been just about technical design. From day one, it's about addressing real world needs and a sense of global responsibility. I wanted to ask if you could share a time where your challenge experience helped you make a positive impact, whether in your work, your community, or your wider life.
So during the challenge, we developed an electronic pressure cooker that's powered by solar panels in collaboration with Bbox, startup at the time. I think what I took away most from that challenge is it was very empowering to start a project from the beginning and like go through the whole project cycle. We had a model electric pressure cooker by the end of it, which was working with a solar panel. So from initial concept to design and then thinking about how it can be financed, gives you that kind of skill set to be able to then do that in another context. So I use that for my work with Engineers for Overseas Development. For example, we're like a very small team of volunteers, and we're working to improve hospital infrastructure in Uganda, which is where a lot of people on this call are from. We have to manage everything ourselves. So we raise the funding ourselves, then we do the structural design ourselves. Then we will go to Uganda and hire a local team. We will buy materials, we will project manage. And it kind of gives you that confidence to be able to say, I can complete a project start to finish. So that's great. The challenge also made me think about engineering in a slightly different way. I was a structural engineer prior and during the challenge, and we sort of forget to put people at the heart of engineering. And then during the challenge, we were connecting with people in Rwanda, which is where our project was based, to really understand how they're cooking, what they actually what they actually need as well. And I think that encouraged me to get involved with Engineers Without Borders and work on writing the design brief for the Engineering for People Design Challenge. So yeah, lots of different skills.
Amazing. Thank you, Miriam. That sounds like such an impactful project. And yeah, I would love to see the hospitals when they're built. Are they going to be built? I mean, we want the challenge to open doors for our students, but we also want it to empower them to create lasting impact, however they define it. So glad to hear that you're on that road. And it's lovely that you came full circle as well and working with Engineers Without Borders UK for some time. I wish we could catch up for longer. I'm already over time. And I thought to wrap up today, we could get one piece of advice from everyone for our current students. But I think just in the interest of time, if we could just ask one of you, what advice would you offer for taking what you've learned, what the students have learned over their experience to drive positive impact in their careers and beyond? I don't know who to go with. Amviko, do you want to go? I see you're off mute.
I want all the students that have participated in this challenge to carry what they have learned at heart and use it everywhere they go. Those critical thinking skills, those reporting skills, those observation skills, the automation skills, carry this innovation at heart, whether you've won or not. Make sure you create an impact in your communities, either in a small way or a big way, in your homes, in your careers, improve your countries, take them to a certain level from where they were before. And I want to tell you that your voice in engineering is very, very, very powerful. So use your voice through your skills that you have learned. And congratulations to all the winners. And I pray that you all have a platform to use your skills, to use your innovations, and God bless you all.
Thank you, Amviko. Maybe our other panelists can write their pieces of advice in the chat for the participants that are here today. Sorry, we couldn't have time for that, but it's been a joy to hear each of you have taken your experience on the challenge and made it into something more, from starting your own ventures or finding a way into the clean energy sector, or supporting really large scale projects. So glad to hear that you're each living this bright future that is open to all young innovators. And to our students on the call, hopefully you've heard something today that inspires you to take the next step boldly and to know what journey, that the journey doesn't end here with the grand final. It's just the beginning. But I think now we'll move on to the second portion of our award ceremony. So I'll pass the mic on to Sarah.
Thank you very much, Sean. That was a really inspiring panel discussion. Hi, everyone. I'm very excited to be presenting the People's Award at today's grand final event. And the People's Award allows anyone, any member of the public, to vote for the design challenge design they think best meets the assessment criteria. And it's been fantastic to see the level of interest and votes received to this year's People Award category. Over 3,500 votes were placed, with the winning team receiving just over 18% of these. And with that said, I can now announce that the winner of the People's Award for this year's Design Challenge, Efficiency for Access Design Challenge, is Team 2024-13 with their innovative solar-powered tea harvester. I'd like to invite them to turn their cameras on, unmute themselves, and share a few words about their design. Are there any members of the team who are here? We'd love to hear from you.
No, thank you. Yeah, we really appreciate for this opportunity to receive this People's Award, and we are likely to be here since this efficiency for change started, and we really appreciate for this. Thank you.
Thank you so much. What do you think it was about your project and design that captured the hearts and minds of our voters?
Yeah, thank you. A lot I can say about our project. It was about to address some challenges about the tea. The main thing that I think is that after presenting about how the tea produces 30 tons annually and handling some challenges like production of 60% costs and employment, just handling those issues where the women and children and all people will be found in that sector, also increasing the yield and all other sectors aligning with sustainability. There are many things that we'll be focusing on, also energy efficient, but mostly widely is that to make that machine which will be more functioning and productive with energy efficient. Thank you.
Congratulations and thank you. I will hand the mic over to Jackie now. Thank you.
Thank you, Sarah. And before we announce this year's Gold Award winners, I'd like to congratulate all the teams participating this year. Your dedication, collaboration with peers, educators, and your mentors, and incredible energy and effort you've invested have truly shown through. You have all created remarkable projects that reflect your passion and hard work. So keep reaching for the stars. And now, the moment we are all waiting for, the announcement of the Gold Awards of this year's Efficiency for Access Design Challenge. So the Gold Award goes to Team 8 from Guna University in Uganda with their design of an hydrogel solar evaporator for water purification in refugee settlements. Congratulations. Are there any of the team members here today? I want to switch on your cameras, unmute yourself and introduce yourselves.
Hello, everyone.
Hi, Brian. How are you? How do you feel?
The pressure was much.
I think there are other team members here also joining you, right? But if I can ask you, Brian, to summarize a little bit this design for the audience.
All right. We usually call it Solgel. That's the name we gave it for our business model for hydrogel solar evaporative water purification. We designed this system because where we reside currently in Gulu, we are close to the refugees camps, and we opt best to help them with clean water. So our system works, imagine, in 4 stages. that is water absorption using the PPY-based hydrogel. And then upon illumination, the water is evaporated, condensed, and then collected when it's safe.
Thank you. Yeah, it sounds very innovative material technology used for purifying water. Can I ask you what was especially challenging when designing this appliance for a refugee settlement, and how did you overcome those challenges for that specific context?
The major challenge was first understanding the market assessment of the refugees. How best we could help them, because we know they're one of the marginal groups we have. So we sat down, we analyzed, we made surveys to understand how best could we provide the affordable solution to them. That's why we were able to overcome this scenario.
Yeah, I guess you face different challenges and barriers, and well, you overcome them very well. What would you like to say about your learning experience in this challenge this year?
And my learning experience for the challenge this year, first require willing to learn, think about your community, the user of your product, and how best can you provide a solution to them.
That's so true. The willing to learn, that's key, right? Like it keeps you going. Well, thank you very much for participating in the challenge and joining us on stage today. And congratulations to the rest of your team also. And I'll pass it now to Tom to close this year's award ceremony.
Thanks, Jackie. Please do, while we have this on screen, get those reactions, applause, hearts, whatever you feel, just for this event and the year. It was really important to acknowledge that hard work from everyone. And we as a team are incredibly proud of all of you, the journey you've been on. And yeah, whether you've received an award or not, we hope that what you've learnt, what you've heard today from Leo and from the panel really provide inspiration and motivation as you embark on your next steps. With that, I will pass back to Rachel.
Thank you, Tom. And huge congratulations to our winners. Big rounds of applause for all of you, especially the Bronze Award winners who didn't hear the applause, but we were applauding you. I'd like to thank all the educators who have been supporting the students through this journey these last months. Your commitment and effort is key to developing the workforce of the future in the clean energy sector, and with that contributing towards the Sustainable Development Goals. Also, a big thanks to all the industry partners engaged in the competition, either as mentors, webinar speakers, reviewers, or judges. Your contributions are fundamental and played an important part in the students' knowledge and understanding of the clean energy sector. And finally, I'd like to thank the programme funders, UK Aid via the Transforming Energy Access platform, and the IKEA Foundation for their commitment to research and innovation in the clean energy sector. It's truly a joy to see a network of educators, innovators, and energy access experts supporting the next generation of energy access entrepreneurs and professionals. So thank you all for your involvement in the challenge. This opportunity to celebrate with you all is so inspiring, and it's really just the cherry on top of a fantastic year. Huge congratulations to our winning teams today. I hope you will take some time to let it sink in and to celebrate your success and your achievements together. Really well deserved. And we're so excited to see what the future holds for you. So please do stay in touch. We're coming to the end of the grand final now. We will be sharing a recording of this event on our usual channels, and we'll be sending a feedback survey after the event today. We'd really appreciate you taking a few minutes to complete that form to help us measure our impact and success. And for students, you'll need to complete that survey in order for us to send you your certificates. So please make sure that you fill that in. Now, before we let you all go, I'd love to take this opportunity to take a virtual photo of us to commemorate this moment. As we've said, it's a rare opportunity when everyone is together in a virtual room. So we want to make the most of that and capture that moment. So I'll invite you to please turn your cameras on. I will stop sharing my screen and I will give us a countdown. It might take a short moment to capture the photos, so I'll ask you to please hold your smiles and your poses for a few moments while we do that. Brilliant. So is everybody ready? Okay, 3, 2, 1. Amazing. Thank you, everyone. It's so lovely to look through at all your smiling faces and to capture this moment together. So thank you all for being here. Thank you for your commitment and your passion, your energy and engagement. And that brings us to the end of the grand final. I really hope you enjoyed it. And huge congratulations again to all of our students and to our winning teams. If you need to get in touch with us, you can reach us at efachallenge@est.org.uk. I will just pop that in the chat before we go. And that brings us to an end. So bye-bye, everyone.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Thanks, everyone.